this. This is our first non-James Gunn DC project. And, I really loved James Gunn's Superman. And I enjoyed, if he hadn't overpromised on Peacemaker season 2, I think I would have, I enjoyed large parts of that season. But I'm ready for it to seem bigger than James Gunn, right? And he should want it to be bigger than him too, right? I mean, it's DC. It existed before him, and it will exist after him. My biggest concern is that this is going to be very Guardians of the Galaxy coded. I mean, she's already giving Star-Lord, and this first shot of the trailer is very Guardians of the Galaxy. But I mean, those movies did very well, so maybe it's let's just take a look at it, and then we can discuss what we're getting. Okay, here we go. Krypto! Oh, Krypto.
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy.
It was very Marvelsy, like the Marvels.
Hereby declare that 23 will be the best year yet. Let's be honest, babe, it's not a very high bar to clear.
Aww.
I didn't know any of you were still alive. What was it like to lose everything in a day?
Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind. Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Billy Alcock's very good. She's very well. What I mean is the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Do others on your planet have powers like you?
Like, if this was a Guardians of the Galaxy movie,
no, it's a pretty small group of 2.
I think it's kind of unbelievable that it's not. Krypto.
Superman.
Oh, is that Lobo?
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Timothy Chalamet meme. Oh yeah, read that comic, which is, this movie is very little like. But I mean, if you want to see the inspiration, well, it's interesting. It's very much like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Marvels, which is fascinating to me because when the Marvels came out, I said, why do you guys complain about this when it's very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy? Guardians of the Galaxy, to be fair, was better than the Marvels film, but they had similar elements to it. Like the Marvels was silly, but people took issue with that even though Guardians of the Galaxy was very silly. But anyway, when this movie was teased yesterday, a lot of people said, oh, a female-led superhero, that's in modern times. And everybody, people were like, what about Shuri? Thank you very much. And I agree. But I gotta say, I have never seen a character more in need of a team than Supergirl, I'm sorry to say. There should have been a lot more Lobo in this trailer. I mean, you barely even catch him, And I'm not quite sure what they did to the villain. It's also a little Birds of Prey, but that not only in that there's a young girl sidekick, but that they considerably changed the character to be less good than the comic book version, from, Cassandra Cain. We were like, what the heck did they do to Cassandra Cain? And now we're going to be like, what the heck did they do to Ruthie? Although to be fair, Ruthie is does not nearly as well known as Cassandra Cain. But I really like what Millie Alcock is doing here. I think she looks like she's a fabulous Supergirl, but I don't know if she can carry a movie, to tell you the truth, to be honest with you. I think she looks like she'd be a fabulous member of a team, which is why this should have been a two-hander, which, to be fair, Tom King originally pitched his comic book as a two-hander with Lobo. And so they're like, that's how we're not kind of cheating because that was the original idea all along. And you're like, I will allow it because I think it's better for everybody. And I think that Lobo should have been a true co-lead here. Also, I love Krypto, but he can't do the heavy lifting for every movie. And also, it's very much, she's very Star-Lord coded, down to a very messy spaceship. I'm like, do you have alcohol and dog urine all over the floor of his ship? I mean, like, I see a lot of your problems are very obvious, but I mean, when she's at the bar talking about, high hopes for her next year, I thought that was very charming. I thought she did a really good job with it. Most people know Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon. That's how James Gunn discovered her. But in fact, I really came to like her and appreciate her as an actress beyond, the Targaryen trappings on the Sirens, the Margot Robbie produced miniseries on Netflix, which she did. Everybody on that show did a great job, but she was really wonderful there. And it made me kind of discover her as an actress, beyond, again, as I said, the franchise of House of the Dragon. And so I think she's really great. I really like her a lot. But to me, I don't know how successful this movie will be to you. I honestly see right now, I mean, this is just a teaser, but to me, I see this coming in maybe in the 400 million range, unless there are a lot of big surprises coming up. I mean, it should do better than the Marvels, but somewhere between like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Marvels. I don't think it'll do quite as well as Superman. It's interesting. A lot of us were like, Superman is way too busy, man. But I think that it needed to be busy. And Superman felt like its own thing, I mean, James Gunn, obviously there's always going to be some similarities because he so puts it. I mean, this isn't James Gunn, by the way. This is Craig Gillespie doing a very impressive James Gunn impression. This doesn't feel like Craig Gillespie at all, to be honest with you. And I hope that James Gunn just doesn't hire people to be extensions of himself. I mean, he should have been pushing. He should have been saying, it looks like I made it, which is the opposite of what I want, or else I would have made it, I'd be curious to know how much he was involved in this. He was a very big part of Kevin Feige at the press conference on Sunday. Kevin Feige's always been I don't know. I don't know what Kevin Feige's personality is. Do you? And I think that is intentional. All I know is that he loves comics and he hasn't been doing as good a job lately. James Gunn's like, doing better than them. And that's true. But it's funny to me that it's so similar to the Marvels. And and by the way, this movie was totally made once the Marvels had already been released. So it's not like they were like, unfortunately, if only we'd seen that before we made this movie. So to me, it looks like a mashup of Guardians of the Galaxy, the Marvels, and to be honest with you, Birds of Prey. So I think it'll have its fans, but I think it's going to be a mid-range film. That's the problem. If Netflix bought this, would they put it in theaters? I mean, that's the new question we're going to have to start asking ourselves, right? Does this look, if you were Ted Sarandos, would you put this in theaters? Although I have to say, if this can be released, I don't understand why we never got to see Batgirl, which I think looked really unique and phenomenal from the directors of the Marvels, from Ms. Marvel, by the way. But also, to be fair, Bad Boys for Life. But, I think that this seems to have a lot of the same issues, and yet it's getting this huge big screen treatment. And they shelved Batgirl, which to me, I'm more of a Bat family person, though, to be fair, looked certainly, if not as good, if not better, as good. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I like Millie Alcock. I think she's very likable. And to me, because I want to be positive, that's my biggest takeaway. Great casting. I do agree with that James Gunn is very good at casting. Although I'll be interested when, let's see. There's a lot of whispers about Brainiac. I hear they don't have a very big budget, which is limiting but there's some very good cheaper choices that let's see who they end up going with. If you think they're Guardians comparisons now, I don't know why he's doing it. He doesn't have to do it. Stop doing it to yourself. Stop doing it to yourself. Please, seriously, stop doing it to yourself and us. All right, so what'd you think of Supergirl of the Galaxy? That's right, Supergirl of the Galaxy. I'm going to do a breakdown, although there's surprisingly few Easter eggs in this trailer, which is also weird. But it'll be fun. I wish they'd used the score that they just teased yesterday, which was so good. You know what this also reminds me of? The new Naughty Dog game that they're getting raked across the coals for, which is a shame because it looks better than this actually. But the new Naughty Dog movie, which used, I think, the Beastie Boys, that was, I think, a little bit stronger and more unique as well, but in a similar direction. Okay. What'd you think? Share your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching with me. Thank you for continuing this journey as we go into 2026. And stay tuned for the breakdown. All right. Share those comments down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.